Back with more Buffy. This is episode 4 of season 6. Very excited to carry on with this season, see what's going to happen next. Really enjoyed it so far this season. I think they're going in a really, really interesting direction with Buffy's story and her coming back from the dead, and she thought she was in heaven, which is kind of brutal and awful, and yeah, I feel awful for her. And I think that's going to kind of be a big part of her journey this season, is trying to find a reason to live again. Even though she'd made peace with dying. I think it's such an interesting idea, very deep, and I think it could be a fascinating kind of thing to explore. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where they're going to take all of that and where we're going to go in terms of like a general plot or big bad for the season. Still not quite sure on that yet. But either way, I'm really enjoying season 6 so far. I think we're off to a very, very strong and interesting start. So without further ado, let's get into the next one. What a disaster! Ha! It's kind of sad that something like that keep her busy and like a normal everyday job you do in life she couldn't do.
Okay, so you're telling me I'm broke?
Oh shit.
Not yet, but easy. You burn the house to the ground and collect the insurance. Plus fire, pretty.
It's tough to do when there's fucking water everywhere.
Start charging. For what?
For slaying.
Slaying vampires. You're providing a valuable service to the whole community. I say cash in. Well,
it's an idea.
That's an idea. You would have. You can't charge innocent people for saving their lives. Spider-Man does. He does not. He does too? He does not. Xander?
Action is his reward. What's wrong with you?
Why don't you ask your best friend Spider-Man? You know, if you're not going to support me...
I'm supportive.
I wish Spider-Man was my best friend.
Buttress of support.
No, you're not.
And I love you so much. I just want every step to be just right.
Oh. Those two are very wholesome.
So, about my getting a loan.
Yes, well,
how do I get you alone?
We have a bit of a tangle. For some reason, Sunnydale property values have never been competitive. And
I wonder why.
You have no income. No job.
Well, you have one job. Doesn't pay very well. Oh no. Oh man. Whoa! Shit. I'd give her the fucking loan. Come on, beat Shark Boy in the face. Oh.
Anger is a big, powerful emotion. You should feel. Oh, that's good then. It's gone now. Okay, let me make you mad again. Ready?
Well, when you get angry, you do spells and shit.
Last semester,
maybe not.
I slept with Riley. And you know I really doubt it. Since you've been back, you haven't exactly been big with the whole range of human emotions thing.
Well, anger's not the one to focus on.
That's a weird place for a horn.
Yeah.
It's not a horn. I think it's fashioning. Like cookies.
Or maybe
Me.
fashioning. Like fashioning.
I did say it looked like a shark. It's a lone shark.
It's your guy?
You're...
A miracle.
Yes. But then I always thought so.
Giles.
I keep a flat in Bath. I met with a few old friends. Almost made a new one, which I think is statistically impossible for a man married.
Bath is nice.
You seem to be doing remarkably well under extreme circumstances. I'm proud of you.
Me too.
Giles!
Mhm.
I'm so glad to see you. I missed you. You can't have the store back.
I know.
You signed
Yeah.
it.
I did.
Now give me what I want. The head of the Slayer.
Okay. Sure. We can do that.
What?
Which one of you is leader?
I am.
I will kill the leader.
He is.
Yeah.
I will kill you all.
You want a spell to make you look super cool to the other demons?
Mm.
I'm all over that action, my friend. Or just throwing it out there.
Yeah, that went well.
Friend, huh? Long, lonely nights after a hard day's slaughter.
Yeah, because that went well.
How many times do I have to say it? The prom thing was my lame-o brother Tucker.
Yeah, well, tell him I was at that.
Oh.
Make sure it involves pain.
I know they're so cute you could die, but
Charming guy.
that's all I got.
Think nothing of it. It's
So, the villain's a group of nerds.
Find the guest sheets.
After everything she's done for Jonathan.
Actually, I'm kind of trying not to think about it.
sound policy. At least for tonight.
That's my method.
We'll work it out together.
Oh.
I'm glad you're back.
Same.
Well, I'm glad you are too.
Oh.
I don't want to kill Buffy either.
Yeah, she saved my life a bunch of times.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, she's hot. But it's her or us.
Well,
We
yeah.
have to do it.
We're talking about murder.
No, we're talking about staying alive. And since this is my mom's house, I think what I say goes.
Aside from the moral issues,
We teamed up with one clear, super cool mission statement. Remember? So, you guys want to team up and take over Sunnydale? Okay. Of course, I remember. It was last month. Didn't you
Okay.
have a mission? Shrink rays. Train gorillas. Workable prototype jetpacks.
Fake IDs.
Who's for not killing Buffy?
agreed.
Okay, good.
Here's the Slayer's name, address, and telephone number. You want to kill her? Make it so.
Slimy snake.
You're a stupid girl.
What? Giles, I did what I had to do. I did what nobody else could do.
Well, there are others in this world who can do what you did. You just don't want to meet them.
No, probably not, but
Oh.
well, they're the bad guys. I wasn't lucky. I was amazing. And how would you know? You weren't even there.
If I had been, I'd have bloody well stopped you. The magic
Oh,
seems
heck.
to be
Oh, heck.
You are lucky to be alive. You rank, arrogant amateur.
Now.
You're right. The magics I used are very powerful. I'm very powerful. And maybe it's not such a good idea for you to piss me off. Come on, Giles. I don't want to fight. Let's not, okay?
Ah.
I'll think about what you said and
Don't let it get to your head, Willow.
try to be happy.
I love you.
I'm far from convinced she's come out of all this undamaged.
Oh, you're not wrong. Are we going to get a Spike appearance?
Hello, Spike.
Yes.
You want me to take them out? Give me a hell of a headache, but I could probably thin the hurt a little. You know I could get a grin?
Hey. It's weird how much they're connecting since she came back. It's kind of bizarre. Especially because he's an outsider, really.
Why are you always around when I'm miserable?
That's when you're alone, I reckon. I'm not one for crowds myself these days.
Good.
So what do you know about finances?
Throwing up. Is that part?
It's Shark Boy. Oh! Well.
You have cost me, Slayer.
I cost you? That's a designer lamp, you mook.
Oh.
Copper! Repipe! Whoa! More! Gold! Copper! Repipe!
What a way to go.
You know, sooner or later, the Slayer's got to come after us.
Bring her on.
We could hypnotize her.
Make her our willing sex buddy.
I'll put that on the list.
Wow.
The coinciding particle activity collapses the infrastructure.
Dude, don't be a geek.
Yep.
Well, I know I'm back in America now. I've been knocked unconscious.
Poor Lumpy Giles. Wish I knew who hired him. Ooh, I could do a locator spell. Or not.
That's it.
Angel.
Is he in trouble?
He knows that I'm... He needs to see me.
Ooh.
I have to see him.
Of
Ooh.
course, but we should get these bills and things out of the way before.
I have to go now.
Yeah, I think she'd rather go and see Angel than Bills.
Thanks for taking care of this for me.
Okay, that was a really great episode. I really liked that one a lot. I really enjoyed the kind of idea of real life and doing real life things and, you know, adulting, I guess, getting in the way and being overwhelming, and sometimes it's just a bit too much. We saw a lot of that obviously with Buffy, coping with the bills of the house and potentially getting a loan, maybe even needing to get a job, stuff like that, and still dealing with coming back to life itself. Then we had what Xander was kind of telling Anya about why he doesn't want to tell people about the engagement yet. I think it might make it a bit more real for him if he does. And, you know, what he was saying, you know, about moving out, getting his own place, being in a stable relationship and everything. A lot of life has happened to him, and I don't think he wants to keep piling that up just yet. So I like this idea that life can just be a bit too much sometimes. And Giles was kind of saying that too, in the way Joyce handled it when she was still alive. And sometimes life can be a lot, even, you know, if you think you're stable and you think you're coping. You know, someone like Giles still feels overwhelmed with life sometimes, and that's just going to be even more so in Buffy's case. And I really liked that kind of idea, because that's a very real and true thing. Sometimes, you know, life just gets in the way of shit you want to get done or shit you want to do. And I really liked that theme that was running through this episode. I thought that was really cool. And they kind of also symbolised that at the start with Buffy flooding the basement, because even the basement had been overwhelmed by water. And, you know, flooding's kind of... Certainly in the UK where I am right now, flooding's a big deal right now. So it's kind of funny how I've ended up watching this episode. And yeah, that's very timely. And just the idea of a flood, you know, it kind of overwhelms everything when it strikes, and I like how that kind of parallels what they were talking about in real life as well, and the fact that, you know, just doing a bit of a plumbing job or repair work on your house is such an adult thing to do, and Buffy kind of couldn't do it at the start there. And then the end of the episode, I really liked that kind of tie into Angel finding out Buffy's alive and they're going to go and meet. I don't know if we're actually going to see that. It'd be really cool if we do. And yeah, the fact that Buffy was kind of like, I have to go now, I have to go and see Angel now. Thanks for covering this for me, though. She kind of ran away from all the bills and the debts and the worries there, and she went back to Angel, who's kind of like the definition of her younger years and her past, and more of the innocent years, I guess. So it's funny that she kind of ran straight towards that and the nostalgia of her past, as opposed to dealing with like the problems of her present and her future. I thought that was very interesting, and I do that a lot myself. I try to just not think about the future and the worries in that sense, and adulting in that kind of way. So that's why I think I'm really, really liking what they're doing with Buffy this season and her journey, and just the themes so far. I'm relating to a lot, so I really, really like that. And yeah, the time with Angel at the end was awesome. I enjoyed him, you know, calling her up, even if we didn't get to like hear or see any of it. So that was all cool. And yeah, just the whole journey with Buffy, I'm really interested in seeing what they're going to do with that. I think it's going to be a real case of her having to like get a job and kind of rebuild like a stable life, and maybe how is she going to juggle, you know, the responsibilities of life with being the Slayer. Is that going to have to like blend a bit maybe with like Anya's idea of charging for slaying? That was kind of interesting, a very Anya suggestion. I don't think Buffy would ever do that, but it's an interesting kind of concept. Is she going to have to really blur the lines between her Slayer life and real life more than ever before? We'll have to wait and see. So I liked all of that, and I really enjoyed the fact that Buffy feels quite shut off, and the fact that she seems to be, you know, relating to and opening up most to Spike above everyone else, because they're like, they feel like the two outsiders of the group now. So it's kind of cool that how that kind of connection formed. I really liked their scene together in this episode. The fact that he can relate to her, that was really nice. And what Willow was saying to Buffy as well, the fact that when she got really angry about the whole loan thing, Willow was trying to keep her angry because she was feeling an emotion, and she hadn't really gotten that from Buffy before, which is a very interesting thing. We kind of know as an audience why Buffy's kind of felt quite numb and shut off and everything, but they don't yet, so it's kind of interesting to see that play out. And Willow has often let anger control her, as we saw with the whole Tara situation last season, when Glory went woo, so Willow went rah! And you know, the whole Oz and Veruca thing, Willow got angry, went to do a spell on them. I think some of Willow's kind of badass / scariest moments have come from her being angry and doing a spell, and she keeps being keen to do them, and Giles picked up on that, which I really liked. That scene between Giles and Willow, holy shit, that was very well done. I love how a lot of it was just whispers, but there's just so much tension there, and Giles was just snapping, saying she was stupid and amateur, and Willow was like, I am powerful, I am brilliant, you know. I think that's almost getting to her head a bit, which is interesting. I think maybe Xander or Tara maybe could really calm that. I mean, normally I think that would be Buffy herself, but I think Buffy's got a lot of her own issues to deal with right now, as we already saw in the scene between Buffy and Willow. But that's a very interesting aspect that I think they're going to explore a bit more with Willow. There is an arrogance there, which is interesting, because she just got more and more powerful, when I feel like that's going to lead to like another episode where a big spell goes wrong, kind of like Something Blue. I think maybe that's going to happen again, but a different kind of spell, and then it's going to be a case of Willow being like, okay, I am getting a bit too more powerful, I need to kind of rein myself in a bit, and maybe that's going to be where they go with that. I think that could be interesting to do that again. What else? Oh, Giles coming back, I guess I should talk about as well. I love seeing him come back, and the scene with him and Buffy was really, really nice. I actually kind of made up for we're not actually seeing his reaction to finding out Buffy's still alive. I still kind of like how they treated this, so I'm not too sad that we didn't get that before now. But yeah, I really enjoyed him coming back, trying to be there for Buffy and stuff like that. I thought that was really well done. It was just nice to see him again, and seeing the Buffy and Giles bond, which has always been one of my favourite things about the show. Love how they explored that. That was just so well done. And yeah, the whole scene with him and Willow, the tension there. Hopefully Giles sticks around for a bit longer. You know, he was still talking about living in England, he has a flat in Bath and everything. So I don't think it's going to be like a long-term thing that he's sticking around, but I still hope we see him quite a bit. And it's just nice having him back in the group. It feels like the group's complete again. And I really did enjoy him just picking up so quickly all this stuff that was kind of wrong with Buffy, and he's the one who's really concerned about what the spell did to her. He can tell that it's not his Buffy yet. Hopefully she can work towards becoming that again. And that kind of really caused him to get angry at Willow. You know, spells have gone wrong for Willow before, and Giles hasn't really got angry at her, but because this spell was about Buffy and what it's done to Buffy herself, of course he's going to get pissed off. Then that led to quite the tense exchange, so it's great to have him back. I really, really love that a lot. And everything with Xander and Anya as well. I think maybe he could have told people in this episode about the engagement, but when he's kind of said his reasons why, I can completely get that, because life overwhelms me all the fucking time. So I kind of really understood that, and I think the time's going to come. I think it'll be like an episode or two and they'll probably tell everyone. But I did really like that they're kind of having that kind of debate, I guess, and that kind of argument, because Anya's still getting used to being a human again, I think, and it's going to take a lot of time. And when she spent all that time as a demon, she probably just watched this idea of what a human life should be, you know? She kind of has like the stereotypical idea of life in mind, and she just wants to get on and do that and achieve those things, especially because she's so kind of scared of the mortality that comes with being human now. You know, she lived for so long, and now suddenly she's probably got like another 50 or 60 years left. So of course she's going to be like, okay, we need to do this, we need to like move on with our lives, you know. There's so much little time left to live now, now that she's mortal. So I really, really like how they were kind of still having that debate, and Anya just wants to tell people, Xander's still kind of a bit wary. Because I think Anya spent so many years just watching and observing human life when she's like done wishes and stuff for people. It's just been like, okay, you grow up, you graduate, you know, you get married, you have kids, blah, 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 blah. And I think she's still kind of got a bit of that mindset, and she hasn't really quite grasped real life yet, which is another kind of theme of the episode. So I really like how that kind of ties into that. It's just another way that life can overwhelm you sometimes with that commitment. And Xander's not often been the best at that, and he's kind of learnt that through Anya. So I do really, really like what they're kind of exploring with those two. And I don't know how long that tension's going to carry on for. I don't think I want to see that dragged on for too much longer. I think they should tell people soon, but it's an interesting kind of thing, and I think it fits with the theme that the episode was going for. So I liked everything with those two a lot, and they are very, very sweet together. And I think everything Xander was saying was very genuine. But I think Anya just, you know, has a lot of doubts because she just worries about the relationship. Because she's seen a lot of relationships kind of fall apart from all the wishes she's done to like punish men. So it makes sense, and I really enjoyed everything with that lot. And then the demon, Shark Boy, I thought the design of him looked really, really cool. Of course, he was kind of just like to be like a secondary villain, I think, to the nerds. But I really liked the design of him. I thought he was really cool. And yeah, I enjoyed the kind of lone shark aspect of it. I think he looked like a shark, so I'm going to go with the lone shark thing. It makes sense, and I enjoyed that a lot. And obviously he was just kind of secondary to Jonathan, Warren, and I think Andrew was the blonde guy. I don't think we've seen him before. He mentioned his brother was the guy from the prom, but I don't think we've seen him before. I don't remember flying monkeys at a school play. Maybe I missed that episode when he was the villain, but I don't think we've seen him before. Definitely recognise the other two. Obviously, Jonathan we've seen quite a lot, and Warren was creepy robot girlfriend guy. So nerd friends teamed up, and they want to take over Sunnydale. I mean, we didn't like dispatch of them in this episode, so I assume they're going to be potentially the big bad of the season, maybe. Since they didn't just like get stopped in this one episode and that was that. Or maybe it's going to be like a multi-episode arc. I don't know if I could see them for the whole season. I feel like I would get very tired of that, maybe. Obviously I don't know for sure because we haven't seen any more of them. But there's only so many haha we're nerd jokes you can do. And when there's still 18 episodes after this season, I'm not sure if I could really... They'd have to do some really interesting stuff with them, I guess, to like sustain them if they're going to be like the threat for the season. I'm not too sure yet. For this episode, though, I really, really liked them. And obviously I can't really judge the future that I haven't seen yet. So for all I know, they could be really, really cool if we keep seeing them. For all I know, the very next episode, they get defeated. Which I'd be kind of probably okay with. But we'll see what happens with them. But right now, I'm on board with them because I haven't got too tired of the jokes yet. They've already made quite a few we're nerd jokes. That seems to be all they bring right now. But the idea of these like nerds teaming up and making all this technology, trying to take over Sunnydale, is interesting. It was just a case of the flashback was like, oh, do you want to join forces and take over Sunnydale? They're like, yeah, okay. It kind of just felt like they were a bit bored and weren't all that about their mission at the start. So if they didn't really care about it and they were just like nonplussed when they agreed to do it, why should I care? That's kind of how I felt. So we don't really know like a proper reason for them doing this. Jonathan I can kind of understand because we've seen him like do the spell from Superstar and everything. He's kind of desperate for that attention, I guess, and love. And I think he, in a twisted way, he can get that by like doing all these means. And the same for Warren. He kind of wanted to be loved. He built himself a robot girlfriend. He's just kind of relying on technology more and more. It's kind of like, I guess, as Willow relies on her spells, I guess, particularly Warren and Jonathan, I suppose, rely on technology. And Jonathan more so, I guess, the spells as well. But more so Warren, I think, parallels Willow in terms of they seem to rely, I guess, on magic and technology as like validation. So that's kind of interesting. I can kind of see that. But just as a whole, for the whole group, I kind of wanted more of a motivation for them really wanting to do this. Maybe we'll get a bit more of that and we'll get some explanation, but for right now I'm kind of like, yeah, I guess. But they were a lot of fun. They did have a few funny moments. I do think the chemistry between the three guys actually worked really well. I feel like I got the impression that they'd been friends for quite a while. They knew each other quite well. So that was cool. An interesting dynamic, and we'll see where they go with it. Obviously, whether or not I want them to be around for the whole season, I think it depends on what they may deal with them in future episodes, but we'll have to wait and see if that's even going to be a long-term thing or not. Either way, it is kind of nice to see Jonathan again, so I don't think we saw him last season. I don't think we've seen him since Superstar, really, so it's been quite a while. So it's cool to see him again, even if he's part of this group of evil nerds. So there we have it. Interesting villain for an episode. I wasn't expecting that. Buffy changing it up once again, so that was kind of cool, and I did enjoy them in this episode, so we'll see what happens in the future with them. But yeah, overall, really, really great episode. I really liked this one a lot. Really enjoyed more so like the theme of like, oh, real life is getting too much. You can really pile on you sometimes, and how that affected like Buffy and Xander in particular. I love Giles coming back into it, reuniting with Buffy. There's some really lovely scenes together. And Giles and Willow's scene was very intense. I liked that a lot. I think Tara took a bit of a back seat, but I feel like we're kind of due like another Tara-centric episode soon, so hopefully that will come. I do also think Dawn had some really nice moments in this episode too. You know, when she was like trying to help with the research and stuff, that was all very cool. And then yeah, everything with Xander and Anya was cool as well. So yeah, overall, really, really great episode. I liked this one a lot. And yeah, season 6 off to a very, very strong start. I'm very excited to see where they're going to take all these things now. We potentially have like a big villain for the season with the guys. Still not entirely sure how I feel about that long term, but we'll see. Can't really judge it yet. And yeah, great episode. Really, really loving this season. And I can't wait to see where we go next. I think my next reaction is Angel. I think we go back to Angel now. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, why don't we just check? I think this is the end of the cycle, actually. So I probably should just check. Bear with me. So prepared, so professional. Da-da-da-da-da. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, so it's the end of this cycle. Oh no, the next episode for the next cycle will be Buffy, episode 5, and then it'll be Angel, episode 5 and 6. So that's the next cycle. So yeah, really like this episode, and I look forward to seeing where we go next. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.